Democrats themselves are now facing what I call an existential crisis because, again, as Harry said, I mean, they're going the way of Cracker Barrel, for goodness sakes. Watch.
Look, the Democratic brand right now has about the appeal with the American voter as the Cracker Barrel rebrand has with the American consumers. Bad, bad, bad. What are you doing? Oh, my goodness gracious. What are we talking about here in terms of big party registration changes in the key swing states? Let's look at the key 4 swing states that, in fact, do keep track of registration by party. Look, the Republican Party is in their best position at this point in the cycle since at least 2005. In all 4 of these key battleground states, we go out to the Southwest. Arizona. How about Nevada? Republicans haven't done this well since 2005. Oh, my goodness gracious, at this point in the cycle. North Carolina, I couldn't find a point at which Republicans were doing better at this point in the cycle. It's at least this century. It probably goes way back in the last century. And Pennsylvania, very similar. Republicans doing better at this point than at any point. At any point this century, at least as far as I could find. Now, what types of gains are we talking about here for the Republican Party? Well, let's compare it to this point during the first Trump administration all the way back in 2017. Look at this. The Republican Party gains in party registration compared to this point back in 2017 during the Trump first administration. In Arizona, you got a Republican gain of 3 points. Okay, how about Nevada? Up the hill we go, even though we're sticking in the Southwest. A gain of 6 points. How about, again, we come to the East Coast, North Carolina, a gain of 8 points for the Republicans. And in the Keystone State, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, again, we're talking about a gain of 8 points. My goodness gracious, for Republicans, they are converting old former Democrats to their side of the ledger, as well as picking up new voters, registering new voters, and it absolutely paid off for them back in the 2024 election.
Again, that's so great. But I wanted to show that to you again because it's important to understand what the Democrat Party is up against. It's shrinking, and it's shrinking every single day. It's shrinking. Again, you look at the New York Times analysis of this, and basically in 2020, miraculously, they had nearly half the country, 49% of men were registering as Democrats. But by 2024, they were like over it. You know, the new ones coming in are like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No thanks. And it went down to 39%. And I suspect that that number will decline even more. You see the same thing. Women no longer want any part of it. And so what do the Democrats do? They're in this identity crisis. They know they have to rebrand, but they don't know which direction to go in. So you get idiots like Gavin Newsom out in California who suddenly say, oh, let me just mimic Trump. I'm going to take all my tweets. I'm going to throw them into ChatGPT and I'm going to say, talk like Trump. And then it spits this one out. I mean, unbelievable, even down to the point of thank you for your attention to this matter. So at first I thought it was a joke, but he kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And it's weird, honestly. It's really, really weird. And I think that they just are, you know, basically reinforcing how nuts they all are and how sort of discombobulated and freaked out they all are because he was seen as, you know, kind of a rising star. God forbid, right, in the Democrat Party. I don't think he's going to get to first base. And you've now got J.D. Vance trying to point out the obvious. Guys, like, come on, like, stop trying to copycat. Find your own lane. Find what matters. And, you know, the women's sports thing and all it's not going to work. Human beings are human beings. They all need to go, like, take a psychology class or something, or, you know, stop being so far out on the spectrum, for goodness sakes.
The dance question.
I mean, look, the autopsy for the Democrats, some free political advice from the President of the United States is stop sounding like crazy people. That really is all it is. I mean, this idea that Gavin Newsom is somehow going to mimic Donald Trump's style, I think that ignores the fundamental genius of President Trump's political success, which is that he's authentic. He just is who he is. You've got to be yourself. You've actually got to talk to people honestly about the issues. I don't think it's that complicated. Don't be a crazy person. Be authentic. If the Democrats did that, they'd do a hell of a lot better. But the thing is, the Democrats really can't help themselves. If you look at the transgender issue, they're still talking about letting, you know, men play in women's sports. If you look at the crime issue, they're calling Donald Trump a fascist for taking action that in 9 days has dropped armed robberies by 55%. So part of sounding less crazy is being less crazy. And if the Democrats were less crazy, I think we'd all get along a whole lot better.
I'm not trying to pick on California because I am a member of the California bar, so don't get me here. But
But yeah, California, her point is California is one of the worst. I mean, you look at the taxes in California, it's really a nightmare. So they're struggling to find the identity of their party. Justin M. writing, the ironic thing is the fact that the Democrats are playing identity. Anything is the problem. But, keep doing it, guys, right? Because the GOP will ride that one all the way to the bank, both in midterms and in the next election cycle. It's just funny because they're so freaked out that they're like, okay, how do we bring back men? How do we do this? How do we do this? Okay, let's have like let's get a board out and we'll like spit out ideas and throw it up on the board. And somebody somehow decided we just need to be in the gym more and show that we're working out and we're lifting weights. And like Eric Swalwell he started like lifting his weights and all this, and he's doing these videos, and it's so weird to see, right? And it got even worse with Mamdani, because Mamdani, who's the communist socialist, whose dad was the post-colonial professor of God knows what at Columbia University, and Mamdani, like even though he's, I guess, Indian by background, applied because he had lived in Africa as an African American to Columbia and still didn't get in, by the way, still didn't get in. Poor Bowdoin was stupid enough to take the guy. Anyway, he's an idiot. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't actually, I'm pretty, like, I don't really go outside, but the guy's a freaking idiot, okay? And he's such an idiot that somehow he doesn't know that bench pressing 135 pounds just makes you look like a total loser. Because, the DOGE kid who's just gotten beat up in the streets of D.C. that Donald Trump is trying to improve so that we don't have young thugs out there like that. The DOGE kid, aka Big Balls, went out and he's bench pressing after getting beaten up 225 pounds. And this loser that wants to take everything from you and decommodify housing, his little socialist term to say we're going to take your house and give it to somebody else. Yeah, I mean, this is full-on communism. Bad guy, okay? Like, I hope to God New York does not put him in. Anyway, the loser that he is goes out, and he can barely do the 135 pounds. Watch. Oopsie. No, that's the DOGE employee. That's Big Balls. He's got 225. Okay, let's watch Mamdani first, because he's really bad.
In the polls. Oh! Yeah! The polls. Yeah!
He's got like a whole team. Go, go, go!
Let's go. Let me get one more. Let me get three. Yeah! Yeah!
Oh my gosh, and he's got a whole crowd. No pride.
Let's go. Yeah! Let me get one more. Let me get three. Yeah!
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. By the way, peace of my mind, I read your mind. You said, did you see the clip? You bet I saw the clip. I had the clip and the rundown all along. Yes, Mamdani, I'm sorry. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, the DOGE kid, again, he just got beat up and he's like trying to recover. And here he is doing 225, okay? He's repping 225. And you get this idiot, the communist, barely squeaking by trying to do a lousy 130, 135. I mean, this is pathetic. So somebody's clearly telling him, hey, you got to act like a man. Start acting like a man. And let's just say, he's never going to be able to act like a man ever, because he fundamentally, I don't even know if he believes he's a man. Like, I don't know what he believes he is, other than a communist who wants to take all of your stuff and redistribute it. He wants to destroy New York City, as you know, the financial capital of the world. Everybody's going to leave. They're going to go to Texas. Austin's going to become the financial capital of the world. Or Miami's going to become the financial capital of the world. Anyway, Riley Gaines, she was able to totally beat this guy. Riley Gaines was bench pressing far more than him, and she's a girl. Right, so maybe that gives more credence to their whole women, men in sports thing. I'm kidding. Looking for an opportunity for, I'm just reading something that's out loud in the super chat. Anyway, not related to this conversation. But again, I would just say, look, they are facing a Democrat existential crisis, and they don't know what to do. So they're grasping at straws. They're running to the gym. They're trying to seem more masculine. They're trying to figure out how they recover from the last however many years. Between Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, they've done some serious, serious damage. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you like.